The first half of the 2024 season is officially over, so it's time to find out, how did the Red Sox do? Okay, so as you can see, we've got our grid right here. We're going to be going through and grading each individual player that has appeared in a Red Sox uniform at any point during the 2024 season so far. And we also have Alex Cora representing coaching this first half. We've got John Henry representing ownership. And we've got Craig Breslow representing the front office, as well as the Red Sox themselves. The grading scale, pretty self-explanatory, I think, goes from elite to terrible. Plus, we got a couple of non-graded categories that we'll get into when the time comes. And we're going to start with the players here. So thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. All right, so first up on our grading list is Ceddanne Rafaela. First half for Ceddanne, I'm going to say was good. I don't think it was very good. He's had his ups, he's had his downs. Defensively, very good, but including the whole package here, I think we got to put him in the good category. Chase Anderson, he's going to go into the average category. He's been exactly what the Red Sox need, the victory flag or the white flag. He's done it fairly well so far this year. Brayan Bello, bad or terrible is where I'm putting him. I think I got to go terrible. If we go based off of just pure expectations coming into the season, this first half has been probably the exact opposite for Brayan Bello. Nothing has gone right for him this year. Brennan Bernardino, elite. He's one of the game's best closers, one of the game's best lefty closers. For a guy who didn't even start the year on the Red Sox 26-man roster, he's been probably their best reliever this season. Absolutely deserves to be elite. Cam Boozer, again, another guy I'm going to put in average, right? He came up, he did his job, he done it well. He's in the minors right now. I expect him to make an impact with the team at some point here. Nothing super crazy, but definitely a really solid player for the Sox this season. Isaiah Campbell, terrible. He has not been good this year. Whatever happened, and he just completely lost his feel for being able to pitch the major league level. That's where we're going to put Isaiah Campbell. Triston Casas, we're going to put in the injured, didn't really play category. I know he did play some for this team, and he was really good, but I don't think the sample size is large enough to put him in that very good to elite category. We're going to put Chris Martin in the put Chris Martin in the good category. I know he's had his blow-ups a little bit so far this year, but overall, it's been another really solid season from Chris Martin, especially having battled what he's battled this year. He's looked really good on the mound, especially over the last couple of weeks. Chris Murphy, once again, injured, did not play, has not played yet this season. Garrett Cooper, we'll put him in the terrible category. The reason I'm going to put him in terrible is because his expectations, at least from my point of view, were much higher than they ended up being. This is the take I think I've been the wrongest on with my time on Red Seat Radio so far. I was convinced Garrett Cooper was going to be a guy who really helped the Red Sox mend that hole at first base. He did nothing of the sort. Cooper Criswell, we're going to put Cooper Criswell in the good category. I know the ERA isn't insane right now, but for what he was projected to be coming into the season and what he's become for the Red Sox and what he'd probably be at some point in the second half here, he's been better than above average expectations, at least from my point of view as a Red Sox fan. Bobby Dahlbeck, I'm going to put him in the not good category. His offense was really bad, right? We talked about it a ton. He just can't figure it out offensively, but defensively, he was a really good player for the Red Sox. I'm going to keep him above bad. David Hamilton, surprise. He's been good. He's been good this year. I wouldn't put him in the very good category. He's been really slow lately, but David Hamilton, better offensively than I think anyone would have expected. I think the big thing holding me back from putting him in very good is the fact that his defense has been absolutely awful. Rafael Devers, immediately in the elite category. Rafael Devers is having the best statistical season of his career right now, and to say that about Rafi, who's been one of the most prolific hitters in the entire sport throughout his career, is a really, really impressive thing to say. Dom Smith, I'm going to put Dom Smith in average. I don't think he's been terrible. I don't think he's been not good. I think he's been a pretty average player for the Sox, especially lately at the plate. I know he's had his struggles defensively. I think the problem with Dom Smith is we're expecting Triston Casas production over at first base, and nothing's going to replace that. Jarren Duran, absolutely immediately in the elite category, right? He's one of the best players in Major League Baseball right now. The biggest snub in All-Star history, maybe. This dude deserves to be an All-Star. This dude deserves to get MVP votes. There's nothing more we could say about Jarren Duran that we haven't already on this channel. And Manuel Valdez, we'll put in the average category. He's been hot at the plate a little bit lately, but the defense has been iffy, and he started the year really slow offensively, so I don't think I can move him up to that good category, unfortunately. Lucas Giolito, obviously injured, did not play. Romy Gonzalez, I'm going to put Romy in very good. I know that might be controversial, and I know some people are going to get really mad with that take, but Romy has been everything the Red Sox needed him to be this year. He's been clutch in clutch situations. He's been solid defensively. He's been contact-wise very good for this Red Sox team. He's done everything the Red Sox have needed from him, and I think that deserves a very good. Vaughn Grissom, injured, did not really play. 20 games, not enough sample size to say, yeah, this is a for sure good, bad, terrible, right? If we're not going to grade Triston Casas, we simply can't grade Vaughn Grissom either. Tyler Heineman, he's been bad, right? He had that good throw in that one game he was in, but again, not a huge sample size here, so we're going off of everything combined. It hasn't been very good, at least at the plate perspective. Behind the dish, he's been pretty solid. Tanner Houck. Do I put Tanner Houck in very good or elite? That's the question. I think we got to put him in elite, right? Up until his last start, he's been a Cy Young candidate this year. I think he still will be a Cy Young candidate this year. The second half is going to be really interesting for him, but for the first half, he was absolutely incredible. Jamie Westbrook. We'll put in the same category as Bobby Dahlbeck. He definitely hit a bit more. He had a couple of issues over there at second base while he was up here. Not a huge sample size, but he wasn't bad. He was pretty solid. I'd put him in the C- range, which is about where I put him on this list. Joe Jakes, welcome to Terrible, my friend. I don't know where else to put him. Listen, Joe Jakes seems like a really good guy. The problem is he just simply can't get big league batters out, even if it was a small sample size for the big league club. Joely, he's going to end up in the exact same category here. He was not very good for the Red Sox. The fact that he started on the 26-man roster instead of Brennan Bernardino is absolutely still incredibly ridiculous to me. That was a roster manipulation by the front office that flat out did not work. Brad Keller, I'm going to put Brad Keller in the bad category. The reason is he hasn't been as bad this year as, say, an Isaiah Campbell or Joely Rodriguez. He hasn't been good, right? He hasn't been very good on the mound, but he wasn't absolutely terrible, so he falls somewhere in between not good and terrible. Bad. Zach Kelly has been very good for the Red Sox this year. He has really sort of emerged as a legitimate piece for this Red Sox bullpen. He has had come in some really big situations and essentially shut the door and really helped this team win some games. I am very excited to see what role Zach Kelly develops into in the second half of the season. Kenley Jansen, I'm going to put in the very good category as well. Again, I'm not going to put him in the elite category because I'm saving those for the best of the best. Kenley Jansen's very close, though. The only real reason I'm keeping him out of the very good list is because of those first, month of the season where he really struggled on the mound. Outside of that, he has been one of the game's best closers. Cutter Crawford, I'm going to put Cutter in the good category. He was elite to start the year, sort of fell off a little bit towards the end of this half, but overall, he's given the Red Sox a lot of quality starts so far this season, and I think what we're going to see from Cutter in the second half is really going to determine whether or not he can make his way up to that very good or elite status. Reese McGuire, I'm going to put Reese in the not good category. He hasn't been bad or terrible really at the plate. I know some people have some really strong feelings about Reese McGuire. I think he's been a perfectly fine to a little bit below average backup catcher for Connor Wong. So Nick Pivetta, yeah, I'm going to put him in the not good category either. Again, he's had some solid moments this season. Overall, it's been a relatively average Nick Pivetta season on the mound, at least from a starting pitching role. I just expected more from Nick Pivetta coming into this first half of the season, and we saw what more could look like at the beginning of the year. He's really sort of taken a nosedive lately. Rob Refsnyder, do I put Rob in elite or very good? He has been incredible this year. I think I put Rob in very good category. Again, elite, you're looking at it, Bernardino, Devers, Duran, Houck, those guys are all top of the top in their positions in the league. Rob Refsnyder's not the top of the top in the position, but he has been excellent and really everything the Red Sox have been looking for, kind of like Romy Gonzalez here for the first half of 2024. Pablo Reyes, yeah, he was bad. He was not very good with the Red Sox. Justin Slayton, I'm going to put Slayton in the good category. Slayton's been pretty solid for the Red Sox so far this year. He's had his moments, ups and downs that you'd expect from someone who hasn't played a full season in Major League Baseball. So for the age he is and the experience he has, good is a really solid place to be. Trevor Story, injured, didn't really play. Pretty self-explanatory. Tyler O'Neill, I'm going to put Tyler O'Neill pretty much in the same category I'm putting Rob Refsnyder. The only reason he's not an elite, despite the fact that he's close to the team lead in home runs and he has a really great OPS plus, is because of the fact that he did have that really down month. He's been injured a couple of times. He's just on the verge of elite. Uwasawa, I don't think was in the terrible because we didn't expect much from him. I'm going to put him in the bad category. He just really hasn't been good. He clearly isn't exactly a big league reliever. I think he's more depth at this point, so I think this is a good spot to put him. Greg Weissert, another guy I'm going to put in the good category again for sort of what we expected from Greg Weissert. This has been a pretty solid season for him. I know his last game was a blow-up, but overall, looking at his season as a whole, it's been pretty solid, I think, in terms of what he's been able to do on the mound. Garrett Whitlock, again, I'm going to put an injured, didn't really play. Willie Abreu, I'm going to put Willie Abreu in the very good category. I thought about good or elite for a second, but Willie Abreu has had his ups and downs this season, like a lot of the guys in this category. Overall, defensively, he's been fantastic for the most part. He's had his moments there. Offensively, he's been very good for the Red Sox. I could see him sneaking into this elite category by the end of the season. Josh Winkowski, I'm going to put Josh Winkowski in the good category. I think for the most part, he's been better than he's been bad. There have been moments this year. There have been times, especially once before he got demoted, where it was like, okay, you could see the cracks in his game a little bit, but overall, he's definitely been an above average player for the Sox, and recently, he's been exactly what the Red Sox needed on the mound when a lot of their starting pitchers haven't been getting the job done. Connor Wong. Oh, this is tough. Do I put Connor Wong in the elite or the very good category? I think I go very good. I know a lot of people are going to hate that, but I'm going to put him in very good because he has had his issues defensively this season. Offensively, he has absolutely been elite. Defensively, he's probably been more in that good category than he has in that very good category. So I think it averages out to a very good. Again, another guy like Willie Abreu, who I think could very easily make his way onto the elite level. Masataka Yoshida. I know a lot of people want him in the bad or terrible category. I'm just going to put him in the average category. Lately, he's been getting on base a lot more than he has at the beginning of the year. He dealt with that thumb injury for a lot of the season, so not a huge sample size from Masa, but I don't think it's been bad or terrible. I think it's just been pretty average from what we've seen from Masa, which again, with people's expectations, makes it feel as though he's been bad or terrible. The last player before we get into our front office executives here is Zach Short, and Zach was pretty bad with the Red Sox. I mean, there's not really much to say. He didn't really get a ton of time here in Boston, so not enough sample size, in my opinion, to be put in the terrible category. Just not very good. Okay, so first person up with our personnel front office stuff is Alex Cora, and Alex Cora has been very good, almost elite so far this season, and I don't want any arguments here because, yeah, they might be a little bit better had he made a different bullpen decision at some point this season, but you talk about the injuries that the Red Sox have dealt with, the different depth players Alex Cora has had to deal with, inexperience that Alex Cora has had to deal with, essentially no help from the front office that Alex Cora has had to deal with this season. Everything has been stacked against this Red Sox team, yet he's found a way to be an above average baseball team through the first half of the season. That is a very good managerial experience, so I don't think this is very arguable. John Henry, there's a special category we got John Henry in, and that is spend some money, you dope. That is that is all the Red Sox fans had wanted. He did not do it. It's below terrible. It's spend some damn money. Craig Breslow. I'm going to give Craig Breslow a good. I think the reason I'm going to give Craig Breslow a good is because he's been very, very intriguing when we talk about manipulating the bottom half of this roster. With all the injuries the Red Sox have dealt with, Craig has been pretty proactive in trying to find solutions. We've talked about a couple of guys on this list. Cooper, Dom Smith. Look at all the relievers that have come and gone for the Boston Red Sox. He's continuously trying to improve this team. Now, this grade is going to really have an impact on the trade deadline. Where he goes in that direction and how he deals with the Red Sox trade deadline is going to be a big factor in his final year grade. But coming into the trade deadline, personally, when we talk about the moves that he has made, of course, hamstrung by this front office, I think a lot of them have worked out really well. And overall, we take a look at the Boston Red Sox as a whole. They've also been good. They're a better than average team. They're not an average team. They're not a very good or an elite team. They are a good team in Major League Baseball right now. Again, this is going to very easily change by the end of the season, especially now that we've seen what this team is fully capable of. So I'm going to put them in the good category for right now. Again, very easily changeable. And those have been my grades for the Red Sox first half of the 2024 season. I'm sure you guys disagree at some point, so let me know where you do in the comment section down below. If I missed anybody, also let me know in the comment section down below. And let me know overall what you would give the Boston Red Sox in terms of a grade for the first half of the 2024 season. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just helps these videos out a ton, and it's the best way you can let me know you're enjoying the content we are putting out. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.